Okay, again, good morning, good afternoon to everyone. Glad to have you here with us for our final BDPA Tech and Career Talk of the year. I think we've had some great ones over the course of the year, and we look forward to even more as we look to next year. Excited about our guests today, two people who are very special to BDPA, but I would even say to our community at large. So glad to have our current national president, Mr. Terry Morris, and our national president-elect, Mr. Tim Brown. We thought it was no better way to end out the year than to have a what we call a peaceful transfer of power among our BDPA ranks. So thought it'd be good just to have a good conversation between two of our leaders, both who have been integral in the success of BDPA over the last few years. So I won't do very much talking today. I'll let them handle the bulk of the conversation. So just to give you a little flow for how they will go, we're going to start things off with Terry. I'll let him say a little bit about himself, and we'll start off reflecting a bit on the history of BDPA, and specifically the contributions of our co-founder, Earl Pace Jr. And then we're going to take some time to actually give you a chance to share some words to really acknowledge and honor Mr. Pace, and we will make sure that is shared with him. And then we will move into some accomplishments over Terry's term as president. I'm gonna let him highlight some things there. And then we'll do something similar where we give you an opportunity to honor Terry and give him his flowers while he's here to smell them. And then we will transition into some of the work Terry and Tim have done together. And then lastly, end with Tim's vision as we move forward with the organization. So we'll have a fireside chat and some opportunity for open Q&A as we get into the call. But again, feel free to use the chat throughout if you have any thoughts, questions, or comments, and it doesn't seem like the right time to interject. I definitely want to make sure all thoughts are captured. So thank you for joining. At this time, Terry, I will turn the floor over to you.
Well, thanks, Devin. And before I get too far, I'd like to just thank you. Remember meeting you. I think it was in Cincinnati. We were at a restaurant, and I don't know how we just started talking, and that just started talking. Led me to see, hey, there's someone who has a lot of capability and like passions, and just over time, we've just kind of just kept in touch, and have certainly appreciated your journey, your personal journey with your family and the little ones, and your professional journey, the great work that you're doing at GE. And thank you for leaning into the opportunity to support BDPA with this unique platform. You certainly took what we had, and you've made it better. So thank you for that. And that's a bit of the story of BDPA. My first time coming to a BDPA conference was back in 2019 or 2010 in Raleigh. And I had an opportunity to see all of these Black technology leaders and professionals, actively seeking to build community and to be the very best version of themselves possible. And I had the opportunity to present on a topic for internship programs. It was the best practices for internship programs after completing my term as the internship coordinator at Lilly. And I saw this rich organization that, to be honest, absent some engagement with the Indianapolis chapter, I really didn't fully understand that there was something like this available for people like me. And you say, well, how did that come to be? Well, that came to be because David Wimberly and Mr. Earl Pace saw back in, I presume prior to 1975, but certainly in 75, they decided not to hope that a community could be built to help support and grow talent like themselves, and even beyond that. They didn't hope that that was done. They decided to do it. Their bias for action is what we are here to celebrate and reflect on yet today. I never had the opportunity to meet uh, uh, co-founder Mr. Wembley, but I've certainly initially from afar uh, admired Mr. Pace, and today admire Mr. Pace for his personal investment in me, in us, and in Black tech. There is no doubt that the marks that he has on the technology landscape are immeasurable, and it goes back for decades. I actually was one of the things I desired to have, but I was never able to pull it off. I desired to have the now former chair of Microsoft, Mr. John Thompson, to be a speaker at our conference. You know, he's a FAMU alum through the School of Business and Industry, and he's had a long tenure as Microsoft's chairperson until recently. So I wanted to kind of to have him be a part of our experience. It never secured that, but I later found out that that would have been his second time at BDPA, because he spoke when he was Symantec's CEO years prior. BDPA has been in having an impact on the tech landscape for a long time. And it is unquestionably because of leaders like Earl Pace. He has invested his time, he has invested his talents, and I'd offer his treasure to ensure that the world gets the benefit of people like you. So I don't think I'm out of place to share that Mr. Pace is certainly experiencing some health challenges in this season, and he would, and his family would solicit your thoughts and prayers. But we thought it be robbery not to take some time out of this agenda today and start with a thank you, and start with an acknowledgement for a great man, a great leader who, again, sought not robbery to prioritize a portion of his time to ensure that the way would be straighter and wider for people like us. So I'd like to open it up for a moment, if you would, and create space for others if they would like to reflect on the contributions of Mr. Earl Pace.
David, I see your hand. Go ahead.
Yes, I really, I concur with what you said, Mr. Morris, President Morris. It's one of those things that when I became associated with BDPA many, many years ago, that it allowed me to not only grow, but professionally grow. And by the camaraderie of our Philadelphia group, I was able to secure employment. And, people helped me. I was able to stay with a major company for 16 years. And that was one of the things that I've always said to Mr. Pace, I really, really appreciate you. Because anyone knows that running a chapter or running an organization with all the stuff, the headwinds that we deal with, it was not easy. It is not easy today. And the things that, he was ahead of his time when he thought about that, because more now than ever, this organization is needed. So I've always, my heart every day bleeds BDPA. I'm a lifetime member back in Philadelphia because of what we dealt with. We're getting BDPA Philadelphia back up again. That's the root. That's where we started. And that was our promise to him when I spoke to him. And I said, I'm going to get it together. So that's my promise, that I am working every day, even through my own health challenges over the last year. But in closing, I'd just like to say, Mr. Pace, thank you, thank you, thank you for co-founding this organization.
Thank you, Perry.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. So I had a chance to meet Mr. Pace in 1983, and I was a student at Temple University. And shortly thereafter, the Philadelphia chapter was very welcoming to all the students. But shortly thereafter, the late Juan Noyes and myself, we actually started the student chapter at Temple University in 1983. But I just wanted to share with the audience and with everyone, especially Earl and to you, is that we want to thank you very much for your vision, and especially for providing all of us a vehicle for us to not only serve the tech industry, but to serve our industries and to give back to our communities in the ways that we're passionate about, especially in tech. So again, from BDPA, BDPA Philly, BDPA DC, and all the chapters, and everyone else, I'm sure, Earl, from the bottom of our hearts, we want to thank you very much for your vision. And we love BDPA, and the legacy will live on.
Thank you. But what I'm going to do at this time, Tim, I see your hand, so I will come to you. After Tim, I'm going to open up a poll EV, so I will put that link in the chat as Tim is speaking. And then what we're going to do, we're going to allow everyone to use that link to submit words, and we're going to form a word cloud. Just put some words and thoughts of what Mr. Pace has meant to you and to this organization, and we'll make sure that that is shared with him as well. So Tim, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Devin, thank you for giving me the opportunity just to share a few words about what BDPA and Mr. Pace, Founder Pace, has meant to me and my family and my career. As I think about my career, I'm starting in Indianapolis and now here in New Jersey, it's because of BDPA that I had an opportunity to speak in front of my peers and share technical information. I remember when I was working for Lilly, I was encouraged by Tim Coleman and others to speak on some of the things that we were doing in our environment. And at that time, I had some hesitancy in speaking in public, right? And so it was through the encouragement of the leaders at Lilly and the leaders within BDPA that I had that opportunity in a safe environment to share my thoughts as it pertained to the technical work that I was doing. Further, there's been opportunities for leadership that's helped me to develop my leadership skills. And from a career perspective, BDPA enabled me to now secure a position at Johnson & Johnson, where I've been working for J&J for about 13 years. And what's been beautiful about my experience within BDPA is that every year that we've had our conference, it's been a bit of a family reunion for me, right? And it's enabled me to keep in touch with Terry and many of my other BDPA family members throughout these years. And frankly, if it wasn't for BDPA, I suspect that we probably would not have been in touch as much, And so I thank Founder Pace for his tireless efforts to not only create BDPA, but to help sustain BDPA. He has been the person behind the scenes coaching people like Terry Morris and myself, giving us encouragement, giving us guidance and insight that enables us to be able to give back to BDPA and to our community at large. And so, Mr. Pace, I just want you to know that, I appreciate you and I thank you for what you've done for me, which enabled me to provide for my family. And so I just wanted to share those thoughts and just say how much I appreciate BDPA and this opportunity to continue to serve.
Thank you for that, Tim. So at this time, I've dropped a link in the chat for a poll everywhere. Let me see someone in the waiting room. So I want you to use that link and just go in and submit words, and we're going to form a word cloud. I'll share my screen as well. You also have the ability to text your words in. If you can see the screen, if you text Devin Jenkins 912 to the number 22333, you can text your words in. Otherwise, you can use the link that is in the chat and you can submit your words that way, and they will populate a word cloud on the screen here.
So Devin, from my end, is saying that it's waiting for you to begin the presentation. So I'm not sure if other people are having that
Let's
same
see
experience.
here. How about now?
Yep, I can enter it now. Thank you.
Okay. Allow everyone a few minutes to get your words in. Again, the link is in the chat. Nice. We have inspirational, encouraging, grateful. Innovative. Founder Pace, I hope when you see this, you can see the impact you've had on many of the lives of those of us here in BDPA. Haven't seen a bad word yet. Don't anticipate one. And thank you everyone for your participation. Okay. I will keep this active as we continue on with the conversation a little bit longer. So Terry, why don't we transition into a recap of your 4 years as president? Continue to submit your words to those for the word cloud as it relates to Founder Pace. Actually, the word cloud is full now, so you all have gone above and beyond. So thank you. I'll make sure this is saved and shared, and we have the recording that will be available as well. So Terry, the floor is yours again.
All right, thank you, Devin, and special thanks to President-elect Brown. That was his idea, and certainly it was a great idea, and to be able to provide that tribute to Mr. Pace. You know, about now 4 years, when I was coming off of a conference, and let me go even further back. When I attended that first conference in Raleigh, you know, it was the furthest from my imagination that I would ever think it possible for me to become the president, looking at all of the leaders who were doing such a great job, creating a great experience for the participants. And it was just unimaginable for me that I would at some point be them or they. And if you fast forward and you know, through the years, you know, the BDPAs of the world, you know, have certainly faced its share of opportunities and challenges, and we've all experienced them. And I personally, coming off of 3 years of leading the Indianapolis chapter, you know, thought that there might be an opportunity to you know, throw my hat in the ring to be a part of helping BDPA reach the fullest of its potential. and I didn't know what would materialize of that. Didn't know if I was the right person for the window of time that BDPA was going to be heading into, but I did feel that it was worth me entertaining that possibility. And because there were some headwinds early in my candidacy, I kind of knew then that yes, this is where I'm supposed to be. My journey has been filled with challenges, but there's always, something. There's some value through that challenge. And so I was fortunate enough to be elected to serve. Now, since when I look at the folks who are joining us today, I see primarily BDPA members. So I'm gonna click in just a little bit and say that early in my tenure, I got a chance to get more visibility into the kind of the health of BDPA, and found that there are dimensions of our institution that weren't healthy. And this was, after there was no undo button. It was very much it's yours, and whoever you are able to persuade to join you, it is yours. And the opportunity at that point is to become disillusioned, or to get a vision, get some partners in that vision, and go after helping BDPA reach its potential. And that's what we did. I vividly remember back in 2018, in January, I don't think Dr. Wolf is on the call, but Dr. Wolf and I and others decided that we're just going to dig in and help plot our way through a pretty difficult season for BDPA on a number of fronts. And we started with a clear vision. We really felt like the foundation of BDPA, our message, our purpose was the right one: enabling digital thought leadership. I mean, having more Blacks in tech, growing and developing. That was what the market needed. Who would have known that, now the market is thirsty and hungry for it, but at that point, market needed it. And so we were in the right play. We just needed to shore up the foundation. And with some great partners, some of them on the call. I see Nate Bolden on the call. He's certainly been a partner in this journey, and Joe Blair, who came in to help with marketing, and my wife is on the call too, Alicia. She was helping behind the scenes, and also at some of our conferences. Lorraine Stewart David, who has been a persistent measure of support with our financial capabilities, and of course Tim as our strategist. But there are others who are here, Derek Brown and Perry Carter. I'll stop calling names. I'll just say that we locked arms to shore up the foundation for BDPA, and the clarity of purpose, our ability to really harness the unique capabilities that we have within our membership, has been how we've been able to right this ship. I'll say that coming in, we had significant financial difficulties. That is not where BDPA sits today. I mean, to be honest, we can't answer all the calls of inquiry to be able to entertain sponsorship at BDPA, which is why we're actively talking about some more sustainable support in the 8 to 5, not just the 5 to 8, which is how we get to a more functioning organism. I mean, we've built new strategic partnerships that are helping us to fast forward to a digital capability within that mirrors what the industry is looking for. I mean, we have multiple academies now with our Data Science Academy, with our Cloud Academy in partnership with Google. The partnerships, I should have mentioned ITSMF. That's not a new partnership, but we certainly have restored the relationship with ITSMF at this point. We are certainly locked arms with the previous leader, Viola, and with the new leader of ITSMF. So we've done a lot to shore up this foundation. I'll say that my goal was that when I left, from a financial perspective, that we had, at least $250,000 in the bank. And I can say that I'll just say that I feel good as we transition the administration to Mr. Brown and friends, that he will have a good base to build on. Not a perfect base, nevertheless, a solid foundation with resources available to carry the vision to that next level of possibility. So, again, I just thank everyone for your faith in me and all of our team, that the ones who have come and gone. Thank you for the faith and trust in our ability to take a very bold but credible vision that was laid in the hands of BDPA, and allow us to steward it over the last 4 years to help us to go after that next level of possibility. So thank you for the opportunity, but I certainly look forward to what's to come. And Tim has been a friend and a mentor for years. He was a manager at Lilly as I was kind of scrapping it in code still. So I've always looked up to him as a mentor, as a friend, as a brother. And I was elated when he was willing to consider the presidency, and even more elated when the organization decided that he should take the helm of this great institution to take us to that next level. So thanks for the opportunity to serve. Thanks for the opportunity to share today, and look forward to see what's next for BDPA.
Terry, thank you so much for your contributions and leadership. And I think it's only right that we take some time to honor you as well. So we have another poll, EV, and I would ask everyone to do the same. Share some words of what Terry has meant to you in this organization. I mean, we'll put a word cloud together and make sure he gets that as well. So please take some time. The link is in the chat now, and you should be able to respond. Cool guy.
They may think this is still from Mr. Pace.
Again, thank you everyone for your contributions and your engagement today. It's important that we take some time to reflect and also appreciate those among us. So thank you. Terry, I don't know what they're saying about you at Lilly, but at least you see how BDPA feels about you.
Let's just say I won't give them a word cloud that I get to witness real time. Well, this is kind of you, Tim, for offering this opportunity, and thanks, Devin, for facilitating. And thank you all for the very kind words. It's a labor of love. So thank you.
And we also have to mention that today is President Morris's birthday. So he's taking some time to be with us on his birthday. He was gonna try to let that sneak by. Definitely drop him a happy birthday.
I plan to find some cake in the not too distant future.
Awesome. Thank you all for the words in the word cloud. Definitely a great birthday gift to our outstanding and extraordinary president, Mr. Morris here. So we'll continue to leverage the chat. Terry, Tim, as we transfer leadership from one to the other, I think is pretty cool. This isn't the first time you all worked together. So I want to give you all the floor just to talk a little bit about the history between the two of you, and how you've come to know each other and work together over the years, and what that means as we look forward from here.
Terry, if I may, I'd like to start, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Terry, you touched my heart hearing some of your comments, and I couldn't help to reflect how blessed I am to know you, and to have the privilege to see you develop into the extraordinary leader that you are. And when I reflect on when you were first starting out in your career, it's as they say, a diamond in the rough. When you see something in people, you're not quite sure where it's going to go or how it's going to manifest, but you know that it's something special there. And I recall myself seeing something special in you, as well as many others. Just your determination for excellence. Your brilliance in terms of the technical work that you were doing, and your ability to be able to be empathetic as you worked with others. And to me, it's just such a privilege to continue to know you through the years. But one thing I want you to know is that I consider it a blessing also to have the privilege to have you as my mentor, to have you give me inspiration and with regards to what I could do within BDPA, and I'm at J&J. And so I think this is part of the beauty of BDPA, is that we have the opportunity to develop true friendships, right? And be inspired and challenged by each other. Tim Coleman is another one. I know that, he inspires both you and I. And we can go on. There's so many different people, right? Here at J&J, we have Larry Jones, and it's just so many different people that extend themselves beyond what they need to do, or they just don't have to do what they do, but they do it because they care about us, right? And they want us to be successful, and they want us to achieve our full potential. And so I just wanted to say that it's been such a blessing to be your friend. I consider you my brother, and please know that I will not let you down.
Well, thank you for that, Tim. And I have no question about that latter clause because I know you, and I know Mary, who I see pictured there. so I know you have a robust support system all around. I see Morgan, the New Jersey chapter president. I know that you're connected in that way. Tim, I'm it was very intentional for me to ask you to consider being our vice president of strategy. One, because I know it's just the way you're cut. You're always thinking about what's next, and innovative ways to deliver outcomes. Do you mind just sharing just a little bit of where you plan to focus your energy as we transition over the new year? What are some of the things, and maybe just a two-parter, what are some of the things that you're going to continue to double down on, and maybe what are some of the new things that we can expect to see in your tenure?
Yeah, I'm happy to share that, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share some of my thoughts with regards to our 2022 BDPA priorities. I reflect on some of the conversations that I've had with Founder Pace, and it seems as of late, he's really provided a lot of emphasis on the chapters, right? The chapters and our members are the lifeblood of this organization, and I've heard feedback from some of our members that we need to improve upon the experiences that they are having within BDPA from the time that they first join BDPA and seek the opportunity to get connected with the chapter that they choose to affiliate with, through just communications from the national level and from their chapter, and then of course the various different events that we have, from technology development through career advancement, going to the conferences and, exploring opportunities to make sure that we all are clear on what our market value is and what are some of the opportunities that we can pursue, so that we know if we choose to stay at the company that we at, it's because that's the best place for us, given what we aspire to do, right? And so, the first and top priority from my perspective is to reshape our member experience and make sure that our members know, going back to the experiences that you and I have shared through the years, that we care about them, right? And that they have evidence through the services that we provide, through training opportunities, through social activities, right? Because let's not take for granted that part of what helps us develop friendships is that we have opportunities to socialize with one another. So it's not all about just talking about some, new technologies and trying to share some of that knowledge. It's about friendship, right? And so, that's the first priority that I want to work on. You touched upon this earlier, Terry, that we just can't meet the demand. I mean, we have so many sponsors coming out the network. We just had another sponsor yesterday that, provided tens of thousands of dollars, and they are ready. They are anxious. They need our help. They need our help. And we just don't have enough people within BDPA that helps us to meet the need. Now, of course, that's a great problem to have. And so part of the way that we intend to address that is by, strengthening some of those strategic partnerships that you helped us to build upon. So going back to ITSMF, the IT Senior Management Forum, for those that may not know, I consider ITSMF a sister organization to BDPA. It's another primarily, technology organization that is for people of African ancestry, right? And to be a member of ITSMF, you have to be a director above within your respective organization. But they have various different development programs as well for people that's at the manager level, et cetera, to help you develop. But it's their aspiration to increase the number of Black professionals that are CIOs, that's in the C-suite, right? And so we have a memorandum of understanding where we have some specific objectives that we intend to accomplish moving into 2022 so that we can partner together. And so we're working that actively. In fact, weekly, I meet with one of the leaders from ITSMF to continue to track our action plan so that we can make sure that we see some progress as we move forward. The other strategic partnership is with the National Society of Black Engineers. And many of the people on the call here know NSBE, right? Have been involved with NSBE. My wife and I both were very much so involved with NSBE in undergrad and even with the Alumni Extension Chapter in Indianapolis. And so we have an opportunity to partner with NSBE, and Devin is going to help start that by creating some opportunities for us to talk about entrepreneurship. What does it mean to start a business? What type of resources do we need in order to start a business? How do we win contracts from the government and improve supply diversity with our corporate sponsors, right? And so part of what we want to do in partnership with NSBE as well as with ITSMF is to focus on Black-owned technology businesses, right? And we want to actually have some benchmarks on a national level to see what is the number of Black-owned technology businesses within the United States, so that we can actually measure ourselves and see how we can make an impact with our partnership with NSBE and ITSMF, right? And so, and I know within J&J and many other companies, you know, they're looking for their employees to have more of an entrepreneurial mindset. So even if individuals are not, don't aspire to own their own businesses, just to understand what that mindset is and how entrepreneurs think differently and how they act and make decisions differently will benefit all of our members, so that we can be more effective and add more value within our respective organizations. And so the partnerships that we're developing with ITSMF and NSBE is going to be pivotal as we move forward. And so lastly, in terms of strategic partnerships, our corporate sponsors, right? You know, they are key, right, for us to be able to provide the type of services that we want to provide as we move forward. And like I mentioned, it seems like we just can't keep up with the number of corporations that want to give us money, you know, which is a great problem to have. The question is, what's the value that we as BDPA will provide back to those corporate sponsors, right? Which means we need to show up at the local level and at the national level. We need to be active leaders at the local level and at the national level. So that way, the things that we provide, such as high school computer competition, such as mobile app competition, the Cloud Academy, Data Science Academy, all these different programs that we have at BDPA, that we not only sustain them, but we enhance them, right? So that these corporations can not only see reap the benefits of working with BDPA, but they can see a vision of which they can yield more value as we move forward. And so it's going to take everybody on this call. We need every single person on this call to be actively involved with BDPA, so that way we can realize our overall mission, which is to be the leading and most recognized technology organization that enables diverse professionals throughout the United States to be digital leaders through innovative technical development programs and strategic partnerships. That's our mission. And we'll need everyone's help on this call to make that happen. So I look forward to working with you all. Now, on a personal level, part of what I want to do is become more connected, coming back to where I started, which is our members and our chapters. You know, so I sent a note, you know, I want to get connected with every one of these chapters here in the local area. Went to the New Jersey chapter's Family and Technology event. Tonight, my wife and I are planning to go to the event that the New York chapter is having in partnership with NSBE and several other organizations. I'm looking forward to connecting with the Pennsylvania chapter. You know, so I want to be that national president that you all know, right? That you have the opportunity to speak with, and that we can talk about how we're going to make this organization stronger as we move forward. We have a great legacy, but it's up to us to take it to the next level. And in order to do that, everybody has to be in. You can't sit by the sides and watch other people do it. Everyone has to be in. Just take a small piece, whatever it is that you can do. And so that's what I ask of each of you, and you can count on the fact that that's what I'm going to be doing. So Terry, I hope that answers your question.
Well, hey, absolutely. I don't know about you all, but I'm inspired. I mean, that's a bold but credible set of agenda that you just laid out, and I am confident that with your leadership and your energy and passion, that we will get to that infamous there. You know, Tim, just one thing I would love to have you click on, and then maybe we can open it up for questions with the remaining time, is next year's conference. So I'll say that we strategically chose to lock in on a 3-year agreement with the city of Atlanta and the West End on Peachtree, and had all kind of great rates, and then the pandemic showed up. So we haven't actually seen that hotel. I hear it's nice though. But talk to us about where we're headed next year, and any counsel you'd offer as we prepare for that.
Absolutely. Terry, thank you for asking. Yes. So thanks to the leadership of Nate Bolden, with support from many others, including Dr. Michael Wolf, you know, we have a very good contract that will enable us to have a home in Atlanta over the number of years. And so we intend to have a hybrid experience this year. So get ready. You know, we're looking forward to seeing you all in person. This gets back to that membership experience. We were very intentional to say that we need to start to connect back with you all in person in a very safe way. So needless to say, we're going to take all precautions to keep all of you and ourselves safe in the midst of all this pandemic situation that we're dealing with. But we do intend to be in Atlanta this year and have a hybrid experience for those that can't make it in person. And part of the reason we want to do that is because in addition to enabling the professionals to connect, we also want our students to connect. You know, so as they have the competitions, part of what creates that experience and develops those friendships among those students is that they get to be in a room and compete in person and just have those, you know, kind of impromptu reactions as they're trying to solve problems or just competing with each other. And so we want to make sure that we get back to creating those type of experiences for our students. And then the other great thing about Atlanta is that we want to expand into developing relationships with the universities in Atlanta, namely Morehouse and Spelman to start with, right? And so we have chartered chapters at Purdue University and at FAMU, but it's our intent to exponentially grow the number of BDPA chapters on college campuses. And we want to have a particular focus on HBCUs. And what better way to do that, since we have a home for our conferences in Atlanta, than to establish relationships with those colleges there in Atlanta, of which many of us already have relationships. My wife and I are Georgia Tech alum, have a lot of friends in Atlanta, you know, and definitely connections with you know, individuals from Morehouse and Spelman and Georgia State and others. So so we're just looking forward to seeing you all back in person, you know, learning together, having fun together, but then more importantly, setting the path forward for BDPA during the conferences. And by the way, I would also like to mention that our corporate sponsors are also looking forward to being back in person and seeing their candidates, potential candidates, I should say, in person and having those initial looks, if you would, right, at individuals that they may want to consider to take forward for job opportunities. And so, you know, so just looking forward to that. And Terry, thank you for asking the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I am certainly excited. I'm excited to see you all. I'm excited to participate in the rich development experiences. And unfortunately, I think equally important, I'm excited to get to Atlanta to have a piece of cake from the restaurant Piece of Cake. So anyway, that's my personal journey. Let's open it up. Devin, if you're able, do you want to steward the remaining few minutes we have with the participants?
Yeah, we have about 7 minutes left, and I know there's been a lot of activity in the chat. Some people had words for Mr. Pace that didn't get out. You just heard from Tim on his vision. So any comments, questions, thoughts, feel free to jump in at this time.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Hi, my name's Jelani, and I heard about BDPA through a family member, and I wanted to see how can I get involved with BDPA. I think I went to the website and signed up as a member, but do you all have like regular chapter meetings or anything like that?
May I take that? So Jelani, where are you located at? I don't know if I caught that.
I'm in the Philadelphia area.
Okay, awesome. Well, we can definitely get you connected with Philly. You know, as was mentioned earlier, we are building the Philly chapter up, and so we'll definitely get connected. You know, Jelani, what I would ask for you to do, and I'm not going to make a habit of this, otherwise it's probably going to be hard for me to keep up with all the things I need to do for BDPA. But I want to start with connecting with you. So Jelani, my email address is tim.brown@bdpa.org. Just send me a note, and I want to make sure that you get connected with the folks from BDPA. I'm assuming that you already went to the site, looked for the the contact, the leaders at the Pennsylvania chapter. Is that correct? And perhaps they didn't have an opportunity to get back to you. Is that what the experience was?
Yeah, I just signed. I did sign up as a member, and I went to on the LinkedIn and posted some questions as well, but no one's gotten back to me. But I kind of figured people were busy and not or whatnot. But yeah, I did want to become a member. Well, more of an active member.
Love to hear that, Jelani. Yeah, so thank you. You did the right thing, going to the website, looking up the chapter in your area, and then sending a message to those leaders. So please also send me a note, and I will also follow up.
Okay, and you said that's tim.brown?
At bdpa.org, yes.
At BDPA. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you for your interest. Look forward to getting connected with you in the future.
Hey, Tim, I'd like to ask something if you don't mind.
Of course, Barry. Yes, please.
Yeah, Jelani, thanks for your interest. One of the things I could recommend is even feeds up a little bit on some of our history. A lot of our earlier chapters in BDPA were co-located with Federal Reserve districts, all the big banks. So I would say in Philadelphia, and my information is also available, what we can do with, especially all the chapters that are co-located with the Federal Reserve districts, is to form the various communities, special interest groups, or even committees within the chapter, and just have those workshops on, you mentioned something about blockchain was your interest, cryptocurrencies, form different groups within the chapter and make sure that you have plenty of time to work with local JROTC units, police athletic league, organizations that already exist in the communities, and attend career day at various schools. I know the chapter president and I, last year, we did something with one of the schools in Philadelphia. But bottom line is get involved, reach out to us for help and assistance. A lot of us all went to elementary schools in some city, but bring the career day back, bring the STEM activities back, but let those activities focus on your interest. So talk to the students and the teachers and the parents about blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and then how that's going to affect the future industries. And most of those industries are actually co-located in those reserve districts like Philadelphia. So we can add more to that, but I just want to spread it out there. Just get involved with the chapter in any of those activities right in your community. Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you.
Terry. My name is Renetta Brown. I'm a senior Oracle DBA in Birmingham, and I belong to BDPA in the past in Houston, New Orleans, and I realized from that you have ebbs and also Birmingham chapter, but you have ebbs and flows in chapter sizes and groups. So I think one thing that you did during your administration was let us know when other chapters were having meetings with subjects that might interest someone that lives in a city that might not be functioning quite as well. So I think that's a great thing that might also help Jelani if your chapter where you're located is not where it should be yet or back where it should be. We should know what's happening in other chapters and have a Zoom meeting with them because we might be interested in that topic and it's a good chance to network.
No, that's a great point. Thank you for that. And I'll be in Birmingham later next week, as a matter of fact. Full Moon is one of my favorite spots down there. No, thank you for that. And I know that President-elect Tim has aspirations for shoring up our foundations with the existing chapters, but also, maybe exploring where we have footprints and seeing where there's interest. So were any of you in places that there's a foundation that to start with, and there may be some energy to be met at the center of the BDPA universe.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon.
Hi, this is Sam Nixon. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Sam. How are you?
Good to hear your remarks and comments, and thank both you and Terry for sharing where BDPA is. Just a quick note to say that I've been doing some development work, workforce development using STEM-related disciplines for portions of our communities that are marginalized, helping them to develop skills and capabilities to become competitive in entering the workforce, and been working more recently with formerly incarcerated communities, as well as those transitioning from different careers. And wanted to just check with you in terms of, as we move forward, BDPA's capacity in terms of leveraging the resources for helping those who are looking at STEM-related career possibilities coming from our portions of community that don't ordinarily get access to those kinds of training and preparation. So be interested in seeing what opportunities we can talk about as we move into 2022 of doing more of that.
That's awesome. Where are you located?
I'm in Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia.
Okay, very good, very good. All right, it looks like we're getting close to time. We'll have to follow up with you, Samuel. Please also send me a note at tim.brown@bdpa.org. Let's get connected.
All right.
Thank
you.
It looks like we got to close out before folks have to drop, so I'll hand it over to you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Again, we've had a great year of taking career talks, and we're looking forward to keeping this going strong next year. Congrats to you as you become our new president, Tim, and thank you to you, Terry, for your servant leadership over these last few years. So everyone enjoy the holidays, stay safe, stay blessed, and let's make it back for next year. Y'all have a good one.